everybody. Welcome to All That Matters and More. My name is Komiki and welcome, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. But before we dive right into it, just wanted to quickly let you guys know that the content we will be providing today is for entertainment and educational purposes. And please, guys, do not consider this as professional or medical advice. So, guys, I just wanted to say it's been so cold these past few weeks, but we are almost through the winter. I hope everybody has obviously been keeping warm, going to the doctor, getting your vitamins, guys, because that is very important. And yeah, we are going to get to summer soon. So, guys, today we have an amazing guest. This woman is absolutely brilliant. I've had the pleasure of working with her for a bit, and I must say that I'm definitely excited and I cannot wait to work with her for many more years to come. I think this particular woman is such a powerful human being in the fact that she has a tremendous amount of human element. And I think in her human element as well, it's just finding the power in herself in order for her to help others find the power within themselves. And yeah, today, guys, I'm here with Lebogang Motau.
I love that. Finding the power within themselves. That is absolutely true.
Yes.
If we could all find the God within us, we would be absolutely amazing, wouldn't
Right,
we?
ma'am?
Thank you so much for having me. I am looking forward to an amazing relationship because I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
Mental health is something that's very important and not looked into enough. So let's talk.
Yeah. So, Lebo, please definitely let us know, what do you do? I do know that you have an organization. And I think with every day and our living, organizations are so important in South Africa. But I don't think we truly understand what it means. I think not just only to have an organization, but how do we then interact with organizations? Do we understand, how we can utilize it, how we can actually have access to the benefit, and also to refer correctly?
Yeah. So, yes, Lebogang Motau, the founder and CEO of Free World Initiative. And I say that Lebogang with so much pride. I've got a friend who says, because I'm mixed, her son is also mixed. She's like, I love how proud you are of your name. So proudly, Lebogang Motau, founder and CEO of Free World Initiative, founded in 2018. When I started off, I was in the HIV space, so I had planned on working with HIV prevention.
Yes.
And then in 2019, unfortunately, I got raped. It was orchestrated by a friend of mine, and it was somebody I knew, and that kind of changed the direction that FWI went in, and we started being about GBV. And through the years and the work that we have been doing, especially through COVID and stuff, we realized there's so many injustices that are happening to humans in general, and that's where we decided to be a human rights organization, working with marginalized groups to ensure that they are given the bare minimum that humans need. So we work with women, children, the LGBTQI community, people with HIV, people living with HIV, as well as people with disability. That's what we do.
And I think you did mention something that's very important, your rape experience. So I just wanted to ask, what was your why, to starting this organization? Because I think our purpose and everything, you have to find your why. So may you please make us understand, what was your why when you thought, let me start this organization, let me help people out, how did it start? Where did your why start?
To be honest, I think this organization started even before it started.
Yeah.
It is just who I am. It is my life. I lost my dad at a very young age. I lost my dad at age 4. And after that, my mom was different. So I grew up in a household that wasn't very healthy for me mentally or physically.
Yeah.
And that led me to study psychology. I did child and family psychology, and then I did trauma counseling. I've done Montessori training, and I'm supposed to be finishing off my master's in sexology. But all of it is, how do I help, first off, myself to heal from the traumas that I have experienced, but also help others to heal in terms of what they've experienced. And everything that we do at FWI is try and make sure that people do not feel alone. Trying to bring back, you mentioned when you introduced me, that human element, which I don't actually often identify as humans, because humans have strayed so far away from what humanity is meant to be, and that is operating from a place of love. So because we strayed away so much from that, as FWI, we are just trying to bring back that human element and make sure that people are not feeling alone, not feeling oversighted, and being given the rights that they deserve and needs. So my why has always been first to heal self, and through healing myself, I can also heal others, because hurt people hurt people. But if we heal them when the hurt happens, then we don't have all the injustices that are happening. And free world is exactly that. We wanted a world free of all the ills that we're currently facing.
Yeah. And I think, that's so beautiful and important when you say that hurt people hurt others. We don't actually realize that can have a massive ripple effect on other people, And I think Lebo, living in South Africa, I think it's safe to say, guys, we all don't know what we're doing. We are all starting to question ourselves, God, why was I born in South Africa?
And can we just say it's not just a South African thing, South Africa is burdened by how open we are with our own statistics and stuff. So we will openly say our rape statistics, and that's why we are the rape capital of the world. You know? We openly talk about the femicide that is happening, and that's why South Africa is the 5th most unsafe place for a woman to live in. So because we are so open about what is happening, it makes it seem as if it is the worst happening here, but the world right now is not a very nice place. GBV is happening worldwide. Femicide, abuse, harassment is happening everywhere. It's just also our understanding and our openness to grow. I was getting ready for an interview some time ago and found out that rape within a marriage was only formalized 40 years ago. So before 40 years ago, a husband could not rape his wife. She was doing her duties. So because South Africa is so proactive and trying to be in par with the rest of the world, or be better than the rest of the world, we are often shunned for how bad things are. But I think right now it's not just South Africa.
It's everywhere in the world. Yeah. I hear you. Thank you so much. And I also just wanted to say, I think it's so important for us to understand, organizations. I think that right now, not everybody, is privileged. Some people don't have the resources, that they want or rather need in order for them to live a basic life. For example, I may not necessarily be in the right type of space or capacity, or not know how to respond if a friend were to come up to me and say, hey, I'm raped. What do we do? Because in that moment, I'm thinking to myself, my emotions and what I'm feeling, and how do I help a friend? So can you please explain to us as to why it is so important for us to understand the importance of organizations, in order for us to understand that, hey, I can refer, and for me to bring my friend in, when I also refer, I also become involved, I also then take it upon myself to understand the importance, in order for us to not just only build myself, but my friend who can build somebody else, and so on and so forth. Because I think in South Africa, organizations are important, right? But we don't necessarily understand why, or we don't take it as seriously, if I'm making sense.
No, you absolutely do. And in other countries, they actually take them a lot more serious than we do. So a lot of South Africans look at government for answers, and they're expecting government to do all the things and provide everything. So when it comes to healthcare, we expect to go to a government, and it's a hospital, and judicial, and. But government is inundated. There's too much happening. There's too many people in the population for them to be able to reach to everyone. But they're also a bit detached, because they are up there in their offices and they're not on the ground. And that's where organizations like ours come in. We are important. That important element of being the people within the communities that understand the challenges that people are facing on a day-to-day, and we step in to do that. It's meant to be in partnership with government, but often there is this love-hate relationship that's happening, especially because not enough funding is going down to the organizations that are actually doing the work. I love the fact that you're saying, how do we refer? Because a lot of us think that if a friend comes to me, I'll help you. I'm a good listener. So I've got you. Where there's certain things that it is very important to get the help that is needed. Something like rape. You need the psychological assistance to get yourself out of that. You need the health assistance. You need the judicial. So as a friend, the best thing you can do for somebody who is in a difficult situation is listen. Listen, be there, validate the feelings, and then, like you say, find out where can I take them. There are lots of organizations like mine. Free World Initiative is also one of those that also uses referral systems. So calling somebody like Free World Initiative and saying, listen, I've got a friend who has just been raped. Where to from here? We will, as an organization, also link you up to the relevant parties, linking you up to the judicial system, linking you up to health services. So the organization's importance is the fact that it is that, as you said earlier, the human element. It is somebody that is in the community, that knows the challenges that they're facing, but also has the links or the knows the right people to get you the help that you want.
Yeah. And do you think because of the government being so detached, and do you think because of our sometimes our conditioned learning and us perceiving society as, well, the government needs to take it seriously, or someone high up there needs to take it seriously and show initiative in order for me to kind of then be like, okay, no, but wow, this is important, Do you think we have that level of thinking? And that's why, because of the detachment, that the people up top don't really necessarily seem to care, that we as well, we're just kind of like, oh, well, I guess we'll only just take action or initiative when something actually bad has happened,
One, I think we in general as South Africans have a misunderstanding of the power dynamics between us as individuals and government.
Mm-hmm.
We are meant to be government's boss. We vote them into power. Therefore, they should be doing what we need them to do. But right now, it's vice versa. So we're getting these bills and these stuff comes from the top, and it's not necessarily for us. So that is something that we do need to become more aware of as individuals, that we actually hold the power and they are accountable to us. Now about accountability. Government does need to be accountable, especially for the things that they portray and they say. Our government is riddled with criminals and perpetrators and therefore making it seem like it is okay. If they are not accountable for the things that they do, therefore the rest of the people who are looking up to them will also become perpetrators. We have the example of Jacob Zuma, who after raping somebody was allowed to, we're supposed to say allegedly, and I hate the word allegedly, because there is no woman in her right mind who will stand up and say, I was raped, especially on such a public platform when it didn't happen. But anyway, for me not to get sued, allegedly raped. How do we then take a person like that and who hasn't done any form of reform or correctional service or anything and put him as the leader of South Africa? Are we not telling our young men that it is okay to rape?
Yeah, because then you'll just get away with it.
So in that reconditioning, there is a lot of toxicity that we have learned growing up. Our media is a huge driver of GBV and all crimes, because we watch, what do we watch? We watch men beating up their women. We watch men being controlling. We watch your 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
We all want a Christian Grey, but when you see what is linked up to Christian Grey was toxic. But that is what is romanticized and idealized and made to feel so natural. Revealing my age, we grew up watching Days of Our Lives, where a woman would be coerced into having sexual intercourse with somebody. So when she pushes you off, you just need to try a bit harder. Those are the messages we get. We also get it when we're watching Parliament in session, where they're busy insulting each other. So as South Africans, besides our history of violence, we had to go through a lot of violence to get to this so-called freedom, which we are not yet free. But that has been so deeply ingrained in us that we think it is normal, and government perpetuates this notion that violence is normal. So a lot needs to be unlearned, and the healthy stuff needs to be learned. And that's why platforms like yours are so important, so that we can get our mental health right.
And I think, before I actually didn't understand why we need to think that things are important. But I think you are right in saying that with everything that's so negative, if we actually go and we unlearn psychologically all of these negative things and learn rather to get the correct type of help from organizations, I think then we will understand why things are so important. And then we will actually, I guess, show up wholeheartedly. We will show up with the right type of mindset, with the right type of attitude. And then instead of that negativity that trickles down, the violence, the sexual misconduct, I think the toxicity, I could name
both masculine and feminine, because women have also become quite toxic.
Yeah, 110%. If we can unlearn all of that, then I think then it makes so much more sense as to how we can then understand the importance of something and showing up.
But it's not even a but. The challenge with unlearning is that you first have to acknowledge that this is not okay. Mm-hmm. And how many people are aware or taught or even acknowledge the fact that what I am doing is not okay? And if we cannot start from there, if it has been so normalized, us who are trying to fix the problem are now seen as the outcasts. So we're the crazy ones. So when we speak up, I've had to report an official for telling me ukuthi anginandaba if umfazi ngokushaya ngesagila. And he didn't understand what was wrong with that.
Yeah.
And I reported the matter, and his superior also kind of tried to push it under the rug. And I've just had to remove myself from that space because I was the one who was the odd one out.
Yeah.
Nobody else understood. Also, in terms of I've been sexually harassed countless times. It's ridiculous. And when I report to elder women, they're like, Mosumohle, what did you think would happen? So because I'm beautiful, because I look a certain way, it's okay for people to make those type of advances. And this is from women as well. So understanding that something is wrong is our biggest challenge, because most of these people grew up with these type of situations. It was always lo malume or kripinyana, that instead of the malume being removed, the young girl was removed. Or women are constantly told how to dress. We've got a campaign called What I Was Wearing that shows, it's trying to bust the myth that we are raped because of what we were wearing, what we were drinking, where we were. Just to show that, no, it's actually the issue is the rapist, not how we dress. But until society understands that this is a problem, not women, not how women dress. The problem is the rapist. Until society understands that pulling my hair is not a sign that the boy likes me. A boy ignoring me for 3 days to show himself as macho is not okay. But until they internalize that this is what's wrong, we cannot fix it.
But for me, you know what, Lebo? It's so important that you say that. For me, I'm just like, but when are you going to realize it? When the damage is done? Because I think that's the one thing I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's the one thing that irks me. Is like, when do you then realize that it's wrong? For example, it's like you could have taken your experience of being raped, and been a very sour person. Decided that experience is going to. I mean, obviously, it was a make or break for you. So you could have decided, well, this is going to break me. I'm going to go into a hole. I'm going to be negative to people. I'm going to shun komiki, slut shame her, do everything under the sun in order for you to feel some sort of, I don't necessarily want to say validation, but to kind of like mask away the hurt. I always say, like, when are we going to stop with our BS? Like, when are we going to stop, like, as human beings with our bullshit? You can't say, well, because someone hurt me, I need to go hurt another person. My thing is, when is it going to stop?
We are a very curative nation as South Africa, and that is why you are finding victim empowerment instead of prevention programs, instead of helping that young child who something happened to that child. Hurt people. Let's just constantly remember that. That boy was not born a rapist. That woman was not born an abuser. We are so curative in everything we do. We talk about victim empowerment. We talk about ARV rollouts instead of talking about let's prevent. Let us make sure that these children who are already showing signs of being bullies are fixed and corrected. When do we start fixing it? It's looking within, looking the man in the mirror. When I see that I have done something wrong, I need to acknowledge it. I need to apologize. I need to correct it. I even do this at home after I've shouted at my children.
Yeah.
I need to apologize
Yeah.
because mom, there was really no need. And it's not, they won't tell me, but when I sit with myself and I see how do I want to be treated, I know I don't want anyone shouting at me. Therefore, I need to apologize. But how many parents are apologizing?
None. That's why you find there's so many issues right now we're currently
Right.
dealing with. Like, for example, you necessarily aren't going to be able to tell your parents, hey, I can't do black tax, because then it's like an obligation. And I think, once again, you are right then, because you're being selfish, because now it's like now I'm obligated because I'm your parent. I'm obligated because you didn't do some deep introspection within yourself.
And we've got a support group for survivors of GBV. And one of the things that we try and dismantle from an early age is this acceptance.
Yeah.
We are socialized into being, we are groomed actually. We groomed from very early age to be victims.
Yeah.
From a very young age, you are taught if you don't do as I want you to do, you will get a beating. Therefore, you know if you don't do what your elder wants you to do, you're going to get beaten. Now, this is a form of grooming because nangu malume uyeza and wants something from you. What do you have to do? Because you're younger, you have to appease that. Also in how we receive a person who is reporting something. If when I come to you and I tell you, Komiki, I got raped, and you ask me, what were you wearing? I've already internalized that this rape was my fault. Therefore, the perpetrator will never change. So most of the stuff comes from us, realizing that I have effed up. I am doing something wrong. How do I fix this? I am hurt. I am bleeding on somebody else. And not to rush a person, because we also rush people. We want to talk survivor. I'm a victim. I was raped 5 years ago. I am still a victim some days because it is still messy. It is still painful. And we need to allow victims to be victims, to go through the messiness of healing so that they can come out healed and not just putting a Band-Aid on. You broke your whole arm and they put a Band-Aid and so a lot of work needs to be done in terms of self, but a lot of work we need to give the victims the room for them to heal and to become a version of themselves that they can be proud of. We often think that, when am I going to go back? I want to go back to being myself. You can never go back to that.
Because you change.
Absolutely.
Constantly. You can't. It's so funny when you say that, right? I actually was listening to an interview with Tyler, the creator, funny enough. And he's like, people come up to me and they ask me like, why am I not making the same music? And he was like, I'm not the same person. I'm literally a different person. Each and every single time you hear a new album coming out, it's impossible for me to be the same person. Then I give you guys the same things over and over again. Sometimes you need to, and for me, I was just like, you need to wonder. And that's where I think as human beings, you also need to challenge yourselves. If you are the same person that you were last year, there's a tremendous amount of work you need to do within yourself.
Yeah, I always tell people that run when somebody says, this is just who I am. No.
Level.
that is not who you are. And we should be aware and loving enough to treat people the way they need to be treated, each person.
Yeah.
So who I am with Komiki has to be different than who I am with my chairperson Glow, because your needs are different.
110%.
Who I am as a parent, I am a mother of two amazing little beings. Who I am with Nana is different than who I am with Lou. For us to have the intelligence enough as humans to understand that who I also am is not fixed, it's not stuck. Each interaction that I have influences me in a way, and it's up to me if I'm going to allow it to turn me into something ugly or something beautiful. And what I have decided is that the rape was a watering of a seed that was planted when I was born. I was meant to be this activist. I was meant to be this human rights. I am my father's child. My father was a struggle hero. I am my father's child. So helping people is just who I am. But experiences could have made me ugly. I know every day when I wake up and it's cold and I think, I want to be the Grinch.
Yeah.
But it takes me saying, no, I will not allow ugliness to become part of who I am. And I feel that's what we need to do a lot as humans. Just do that introspection that, am I going to allow, because Komiki looked at me sideways, am I now going to be that be to everyone else.
Yeah.
No, maybe she's going through something. That's not a me problem. Can I carry on being the light that I'm meant to be in the world?
Yeah. And I think, once again, to the importance, I love how you're unpacking this so beautifully, because it's like, because you decided to have a positive outlook on that, that's why you started FWI. Imagine if you had gone the other way, we wouldn't have an organization like this, where people could feel so empowered in order for us to come. Because another thing I wanted to ask you, Lebo, like, how do we show up as people? Because I think another thing that irritates me as well in society is how, like, we wait for, excuse my language, for shit to hit the fan before we do anything, And I think organizations specifically, with everything that you've been saying, like, as harsh as this may sound, you guys are not doing us a favor. You guys are literally, and in my opinion, I think you guys are there to serve a purpose that the government is serving, but unfortunately they are unable to, for whatever reason. Everybody has their own opinion. But that's what I always say with organizations. Like, how do we show up, How do we acquire that emotional intelligence? How do we, like everything that you've been saying, emotional intelligence, how do we acquire to not let our traumas and our negativity and life experiences get the better of us in order for us to show up correctly? In order for my friend to come up to me to be like, I got raped and I don't know what to do and I need your help. In order for you to not have that quick response of, but it's your fault, but how, okay, cool, let's go. How do we fix it? And in order for me to come to an organization and have the capacity and the emotional intelligence to understand that you guys are not there to do me a favor, you are there to help me wholeheartedly. And how do I also maintain that consistency of showing up? I can't show up today because things were bad. Tomorrow I'm having a better day, I don't show up. What does that also do to your guys' morale? What does it do to your guys' and now we're talking numbers, stats and growth, and how do we get there together? How do we show up?
When you started off and said the positive, I kind of cringed a bit because a lot of crap has happened in my life. And I'm not always positive, And Jill Scott is in my mind right now, that just because I'm spiritual doesn't mean I'm positive or something like that. She has a very good line. And we often have this false positivity that kills us. This idea that you have to wake up and smile every day. No, there's days I wake up in tears. But I make a choice on a daily basis that whatever made me cry, how do I help fix it, not just for self, but for the next person as well? How do I I've got a lot of stuff I'm angry about. But instead of bleeding on somebody else, I take this anger and say, okay, how can I use this anger to change? So I was angry with the rape. I was angry. I still am. I was angry at me being violated, my voice not being listened to. A sister, because I was taken by somebody I considered my sister. She betrayed me. She took me to get raped. It was a man that I knew who decided that your no doesn't mean, and I took that anger. And that's why I don't want to be constantly known as a survivor. I'm still a victim, because a victim understands there's still work that needs to be done.
Yes.
Whereas if I've survived, I'm done, guys. I've gone through it. There's still work that needs to be done. So as humans, we need to learn that the shit thing that happens. I've got children at home, so we're very reluctant to use certain words, so especially on camera. They've warned me that I am going to be starting to pay fines. So how do we now take the crap that's happening? Because crap is happening on a daily basis.
110%.
How do we take that and say, okay, this cannot happen anymore? Load shedding is how do we take this matter and fix it? FWI wants to run a program of offering underprivileged youth solar power lights. So we are taking this anger, we are taking this injustice and trying to improve people's lives, because that's the only way we will move forward. People think a revolution is something beautiful. No, we need to go into the fight and make sure we come out better and make sure that it is for a greater good. How do we keep showing up? That is very important, because a lot of us organizations are not funded.
Yeah.
So we do need people. Number one, if I am saying I'm doing we do winter drives. Stop getting annoyed. I'm not taking clothes for myself, and even if I was, it means that I need something.
Yeah.
We need the assistance of everyone. 1 rand means that I now can buy something for a child. We're working right now in Olivet, in Tembisa, in Alex, in Attridgeville, an underprivileged child. We do sanitary towel drives.
Yeah.
So you donating your 1 rand and Mes donating his 1 rand means that it's one step closer for me buying that stationery, that sanitary towels, or buying that stationery. So how can people show up? Number 1, time.
Okay.
People will think that it's just cash. Time. Show up. Give me your time. Be there on events. Give us your volunteerism. Money. All of us are needing money. Donate to these things. And even things like clothes and stuff. That is how people can keep showing up, but also spreading the word. Telling people, FWI does this. That goes a long way. And also the correct referrals. Instead of you thinking that because I'm a friend, I'm a good listener, I've got you, we through this rape, you'd rather send that person to somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
And that's how you keep showing up.
Yeah.
We do get fatigue as organizations. There is a lot of work that needs to be done. So we do need support from everyone.
Yeah. And thank you so much, Lebo, for everything. We're definitely going to have you back. There's a lot we need to unpack. I think with everything that you were saying, I think it people need to pick up that these themes that you definitely are in an organization. You definitely understand the in, the outs. I love the fact that also you didn't sugarcoat the fact that everything needs to be all sunshine and roses, because it's not. And also you were very realistic and raw, about it. Unfortunately, it doesn't have it's important work, but it doesn't have a pretty side. And I think if we all could understand that, I think we would then understand the true elements of showing up, the importance of why it's actually important to show up to the organization, and how it can actually be a lot more effective. Yeah. So, Lebo, thank you so much. There's still a lot we're going to unpack with you.
I think I should move in.
You are most welcome. Yeah. But I just wanted to say, like I said, I think you do have human element. Humans are not always, humans are realistic. I think having the human element as well, in order for you to empower yourself, to empower others, you've understood that there are certain things that you cannot sugarcoat, but you also need to be realistic about it. That's the only way I think that we can be truthful in life and to try and help others and to move forward.
And if anyone's listening, I am looking for a life at the beach. I am ready to move and just sit in the sun, because unfortunately with the work that we're doing, you too often see the ugly side of humans.
Yeah.
I am dealing with survivors. I am dealing with people who've been abused. So it is so easy for me to just box every human that, oh my gosh, humans are just so ugly. So it is mental health awareness is very important. Self-care is very important. And that life at the beach is very important. So I'm looking forward for the amazing work we can do together. I am looking forward to sitting with you and having more conversations like this, because it's through these conversations that we get change.
110%. Lebo, thank you so much. Please do tell us where we can find you, lovely lady.
I think for now, our website is currently being reconstructed. We're getting a makeover. So as soon as that is ready, we'll let everyone know. But on all the socials, if you just look up Free World Initiative, we are the one and only. You can get us. We're more active on your Facebooks, but there is also your Instagrams and your Twitters. So just looking up Free World Initiative, you can catch us there. And yeah, come out to our events, come support us, come do amazing work, because it's just, if we can touch one person at a time and change one person's life, we have done what we plan on doing.
Thank you so much, Lebo. And guys, I think if you've ever wondered about an organization, this is definitely the episode to come to. They are important in South Africa. We really do need them. And I think, guys, I hope you guys have definitely taken something from this conversation. Definitely do check out their page, guys. And definitely, if you also do, can they DM you, get in touch with you, that sort of thing, have a chat with you as well?
Yes, yes they can. Yes, they can. So No phone calls.
Okay, cool.
Just drop a text on 084-865-1110. This is for the support group for survivors as well.
Yes.
Or if you are asking for any outreach programs in your communities, or if you need any form of referrals, just drop a text to that line. Absolutely no phone calls, and they will get back to you and assist you where they can.
All right, cool. Lovers, thank you so much once again for coming. We really do appreciate it. We are definitely we are so stoked to be working with you for many more years to come. And guys, that's it from us. Please do definitely follow us on Instagram at mattersandmore_. Guys, we also are on TikTok. Please also check us out at mattersandmore. If you'd also like to email us for any information or queries, please do definitely email us at info@mattersandmore.co.za. Other than that, guys, that's it from us. Please stay warm. Just make sure you're warm. Bye.